So I don't really understand, like, what is the need? Like, why do men want to be involved in the conversation of the abortions? Because, listen, I get that it's a polarizing conversation. I get that there's people on both sides, right? But there's people on both sides within the community of women who are actually going to be dealing with the abortion, right? So we don't even need to be in the conversation. The women can like have that conversation, then that back and forth and figure that shit out without men's input. Like, but the necessity that I see for men to like be involved in the conversation, I'm like, yo, you're a weirdo, bro. Like you're weird. And I think it's because of the insecurity of men needing to control. It's just like another indicator of men's insecurity and fragility around women and women's bodies and, you know, their choices that they can make. Because, oh my God, they can choose not to fuck with us. It's like, yeah. It's easy, right? It's pretty simple, right? Like when you live in fear, everything becomes a threat. And the reality is that you're threatened by that which is more powerful than you. And women, then their power of choice grants them reproductive power that kind of reduces men to just like a line and waiting. Like, I hope she chooses me, you know? And that's why the pressures are on women in a particular way. Because the weak men who run this society know that they are never going to get chosen unless they create a system which subjugates women to oppression, so that, you know, that they can climb to the top of that system and get chosen. But here's the trick: you'll never cage a house cat. You cage a fucking tiger. So if you're feeling the pressures of oppression, it's because you're strong and you're dangerous. Good for you. And this is also, you know, a lot of this society is actually alpha male's fault, or what is considered alpha male or whatever, apex male, whatever. It's like, because alpha males have a lot of options and they're fucking lazy. And they're not going to build a system or build something or stop the building of a system because it's like, what are they doing over there? I'm not worried about it. Because they're not worried, because they don't live in fear. So it's not necessarily the most healthy relationship to have, because then you don't see when shit comes. It's too late. You know? That wish a nigga would attitude got a lot of alpha male Jews killed during the Holocaust because there were rumblings and people were saying, yo, this guy's fucking crazy. And they were like, what? I'll slap the shit out that motherfucker. I ain't scared of him. And you know what happened? They didn't leave. And you know what happened? They don't exist no more. Like, everything is everything. It's really interesting how things are like on this wave, because abundance creates spaces of scarcity as well, right? So like, because you have access to a lot, there's a space of scarcity that you live in where your thoughts of the dangers of a situation become scarce. Your thoughts of the reality of those options being gone become scarce because you get comfortable in the abundance. And you know, obviously it's great to be at the top of the food chain, but everything is everything. So as above, so below. It's not that fucking good. If you look at apex predators that sit at the top of the food chain, when there's any time of instant or great change, they go extinct. That's why you don't see fucking saber-toothed tigers or fucking velociraptors running around here, right? They go extinct because they don't know how to adapt. This is also why it's difficult when you see like single women who don't have children at around the age of like 35, 36 start having a hard time with the situation or the new seat that they're occupying. They're not in the seat of power anymore. In order for the new generation of women coming up, 16, 17, 18, these women are coming into their own reproductive powers. They have to get it from somewhere. So those women that are on the 35, 36 have to, you know, sort of give it up. And then you see men like Kevin Samuels come up and exploit the fact that these women are kind of like wondering like, what the fuck, what's going on? And he'll exploit that, you know, and have these conversations because people get comfortable in abundance. And they think that because shit is good and shit is sweet and it was a hot girl summer last summer that, you know, next summer is about to be the same. It's not necessarily true because you get blinded by the abundance and you don't see the dangers that are on the other side of that. So that's why intermittent fasting and shit like that is good, right? Because you want to be aware. Okay, so what's the solution? Balance. I was talking about intermittent fasting, right? The idea of stoic living on somewhere where you introduce stressors to the body, you introduce the absence of things, you introduce scarcity, you introduce these ideas. Even if you're living in abundance, you recognize and appreciate the abundance by fasting from it and taking an opportunity to say, what is it like to not have access to food just whenever I want it? And what type of appreciation does that develop as a result of, you know, taking that time and being conscientious about it? It's really important. So we want to search for balance because it'll make us it will make us more aware and make us pay attention from a different space. And full circle, let's stay the fuck up out of shit that don't got nothing to do with us. Like, really, let's let women work their shit out.